before I met Merritt, I took in a lot of intuitive and psychic classes, tons, tons. I don't know any student like me. I just love knowledge. I'm Sagittarius. So I had many teachers, and I'm a straight shooter, So if something wasn't working for me, I just moved on to the next teacher. And I poured myself in a lot of different books. Merritt is one of the most effective teachers I ever had. Taking this class during the open house, I just thought it was like, oh, I heard of these techniques. This is just like the rest. But then when she told her story, she mentioned the seven step. I was like, I'm interested in that. What is this about? Being from, I'm being that I am black. We in our culture, therapy is not necessarily like what Merritt said. Um, we don't really talk about emotions like that. You got to be strong, and I'm a man, so um, therapy and taking her classes, this was something new for me. I thought that because I was in the spiritual arts that I was, doing the work. And what I started to notice that the program felt like a 12-step program for me because it was bringing up all these emotions that I was like, oh, am I having a hard time with this? And I felt like I was one of Merritt's most difficult students because it just seemed like, before I already had the intuition thing going, but I was an empath. So, my emotions picking up on things, it was like I was a walking rabbit hole. I'm not even gonna lie. Um, and I just thought that that's just who I was. So I had no control over picking up on vibes or anything. Taking Merritt's class that gave me the tools to say, oh, okay, so I do have control over this during and I still do have challenges when it comes to releasing certain blocks. But what makes it interesting where the work keeps going. And so even when I feel like okay, I'm stuck here, I know that I still have the tools. I know that I have the friends that I can call on to work on things when it gets bad. I know that I can. I need somebody to hold space for me. And I don't have that locally. So what I'm trying to say is that it's interesting to see why I stopped at now. Now, my friends, my family, it's nothing to read for them. I'm not even trying. And they're like, oh, you just think you know everything. And I'm like, no, I just passed a certain threshold that I worked on within the class that I'm like, I don't have that issue going on. So I can see it clearly with someone else. And it happens all the time. I wake up on the phone and then friend starts talking, I go there. Like, oh, you just think you know everything, but what you're saying is making sense. But I know that I'm like, okay, this is what I'm working on right now. And the minute I passed this, so when I chose the finances, that's why I was surprised with myself. Like, I'm surprised I'm not embarrassed just saying all of this stuff. And I'm like, it's time for me to release this. That's why. So when I started the Garan technique, when she shared it, I did have that resistance. Like, I'm not comfortable admitting this because I never got to this level before my emotions. But now it's nothing because I did it a couple of times where I'm like, okay, I'm ready to get this over with. Let's pick it up. So with that being said, the benefit of her course is therapeutic. Like it is like my first time. I've never been to counseling before, and so taking these techniques has allowed me to really work on a lot of stuff in my past that I never did. I never did therapy before. So this is highly, highly beneficial, especially when it comes to being intuitive, because you're training yourself to be intuitive and psychic without even trying, because you're
Yes.
working on deeper things. I always know no matter what I deal with, I can always come back to center and kind of, ground out whatever it is that I'm dealing with, whatever blocks. And when it comes to reading again, I know, Mary, you taught me this. When you're having a hard time reading somebody, it's always a match. So now when I'm like, I'm stuck, before I used to go, I'm stuck and I don't know what to do. But now I'm like, oh, okay, this is a match. So let me externalize it. I'm like, oh, so you got this issue. And they're like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, okay, all right. I just healed myself. So you heal yourself while you're reading to people. And that's the huge benefit of this. So thank you, Mary. Thank you. Thank you. I know that y'all will love the class.